Plastic Memories is the only show that has destroyed me so bad that I went from this to this. And I know I'm not the only one. Plastic Memories is one of those animes that you can easily knock out in one sitting, or so you'd think. You see, from a professional's opinion, aka someone who just did this, I do not recommend sitting through every episode one after another. Doing so causes what I like to call emotional overload, defined by Google as having too many emotions happening at once. Symptoms of this may cause depression, mental strain, and worst of all,
obesity.
In all seriousness though, I highly don't recommend binging all this anime in one sitting. I recommend taking a 5 to 10 minute break after each episode and recollecting yourself before jumping back into this depression hell. Also, have a box of tissues and a bucket next to you, as you will probably throw up from crying so much. So how is it possible that out of the 200 anime that I have watched so far, this is the only one that has truly destroyed me? Well, that's what I'm going to be breaking down for you in this video. Most people know Plastic Memories as just another sad anime like Your Lie in April and I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, but I believe it's so much more than that. It is a work of art, from the characters to the storytelling, hell, even the music. All of it is just perfect. So how has Plastic Memories, an anime with only 13 episodes, managed to shine so bright that it has been able to match these other quote-unquote gods of the sad anime genre? The answer to that is layers. Every good anime has layers. The top layer is always the characters. The Plastic Memories characters fill just about every trope known to man. Starting off, we have our main boy Tsukasa, an awkward 18-year-old boy who, once warmed up, becomes the most relatable anime character I've ever seen. Next, we have Isla, a misunderstood Giftia that for most of the show has little to no emotion. But as the story progresses, she finally opens up and becomes one of the most energetic characters in the show. But we'll touch more on that later. Then we have the #1 requirement for all good anime: the tsundere. Michiru is our tsundere for the story, but she also feels like the big sister, as she cares a lot for Isla. Despite it being blatantly obvious, she is jealous of her because she actually likes Tsukasa herself. Out of all the characters in Plastic Memories, I truly feel Michiru is easily the best character. You see, despite her own feelings, she still wants to help Tsukasa make things work with Isla by offering advice to him and even talking to Isla herself about opening up more to Tsukasa. The last major character in this story, and probably the most influential to Isla, is Kazuki, aka Isla's old partner. It becomes apparent very quickly just how much Kazuki loves Isla, and it only becomes more and more apparent over the entirety of the show. Despite Kazuki being a no-nonsense borderline yandere, she has such a deep loving connection to Isla, one that a mom and daughter would have, and she is very protective towards Isla, always making sure she isn't pushing herself too hard, even going as far as completely changing the rules at the terminal service just because Isla thought it would be a better way to help clients recover. Now that we have our characters, we have to move on to the second layer: the story. In most shows, we get to know the characters first before we get into the story, but Plastic Memories managed to do both of these within the first 10 minutes of the first episode. You see, the story in itself even has layers. At first glance, this anime looks like it's not going to be much more than a simple workplace romance anime that isn't much more than any other high school romance animes. I mean, we get our main boy Tsukasa, our main girl Isla, who you know will be the main love interest, and we even get a second love interest, Michiru, aka the childhood friend who loses in the end. But this isn't the case at all. Once we get into the show, it becomes known that this is going to be a lot more than that. It has you going from happy and optimistic at the beginning of the episode to already shedding tears at the end of it. The writers perfectly set the tone for this show, showing us the viewers that this isn't going to be a simple romance, but in fact an emotional roller coaster. Now, as I said earlier, Isla is our main character in this anime and the one character that goes through the most change, going from a scared, traumatized girl to a super energetic and open girl who wants nothing more than to make her darling happy. And just when we thought the show was going smoothly with all of the character development, good things happening, and Tsukasa working up the courage to finally ask Isla to officially become his girlfriend, we get the biggest twist of the whole show and the beginning of the worst emotional ride I've ever been on. After asking Isla out at the end of the typical fireworks episode, we learned she rejected him even though it seems so clear that they liked each other. And this is where we get the best look into just how much Isla cares about Tsukasa. She is willing to throw her own happiness and feelings away just to make sure she doesn't wind up hurting Tsukasa. She begins to question herself and her own feelings more and more until she can't take it anymore, and she convinces herself it would just be for the best if they remained apart from each other indefinitely, not just as roommates, but as partners. This sends Tsukasa in quite the depression, so far that it affects his productivity at work, and Kazuki has to step in and fix all of it. Kazuki then decides to be Isla's partner again for a short time just to take her on a single job that shows Isla just how important it is to be with the one you love until the end. Oh, did I forget to mention that in this whole story, Isla only has about a month left before she herself gets retrieved? Oops. Anyways, after a big fight between Isla and Kazuki manages to get it into Isla's head that she needs to be with the one she loves until the end. We then get back into the slice of life aspect of the show where Tsukasa and Isla go out and do all these lovey-dovey couple things, and everything is all fine and happy until the final 2 episodes. Tsukasa gets told he is the one who is going to have to sign off on Isla's retrieval, and we get glimpses throughout this episode that it is really destroying him inside because he says he has had thoughts of them just disappearing. But Tsukasa and Isla know this can't happen, and he comes to terms with it and signs the form. Now we have reached the worst hell I've ever experienced.
The last episode.
With Isla's retrieval date now here, everyone decides for Tsukasa and Isla to go out one last time, and they go to Isla's favorite place, the amusement park. This whole episode tries to maintain a happy vibe until the end, despite the viewer knowing what's going to happen, and the emotion of sadness just becomes too much and overtakes this happy vibe that is tried to be made. Lastly, we get to the Ferris wheel, where all of these emotions you tried so hard to hold back just come crashing in all at once. As Isla said, the way you hold back your tears despite your pain and try so hard to smile is exactly like she's speaking to the viewer. We have spent the past 12 episodes holding in our tears because we didn't want a show to hit us so hard, and when it feels like she is directly talking to you, you can't help but finally release all of those emotions you have so desperately been trying to hold back. You could be the manliest person on this planet, but there is no stopping the tears in this moment. I mean, just look at me. I took this photo as the scene played out, and this isn't even the first time I watched this anime, and yet it still broke me so badly. And this perfectly transitions me into the deepest layer of this anime.
The mood.
This anime always had the perfect mood in every situation. It had you so invested in every character at every moment, and always had the perfect music. You knew the moment the song again and again started to play, there was going to be a wave of sadness that was going to try and drown you. But then it would immediately turn around and give you the happiness and satisfaction of a normal slice of life, as a way to reset yourself so these emotions just become too much. The constant switching of tones constantly leaves you in a state of confusion, and it has sparked this feeling a lot of us don't understand. Just this pain in our hearts that isn't necessarily sadness or happiness, but something that is a bittersweet mix of everything. Our emotions throughout the show get played so hard that by the end of it, we can't help but finally let it all out. And once we finally let it all out, we feel so empty inside, desiring more and simply not getting it. And we fall and fall and fall until we end up in the state of depression. A depression so deep that we have to look to fanfics and Reddit posts just to see how to cure this depression, just to restore balance to ourselves and our mourning hearts. The fact an anime like this can affect so many of us in so many ways is why we watch it. For every situation and every emotion, there will always be an anime out there for each and every one of us. Hey, what's up guys? That is pretty much going to wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy it, let me know, because I wasn't 100% sure about making a video like this, kind of a video essay type video, but I did put a lot of work into this, so I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you want me to make more videos like this, I am definitely down for it. Just let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see more. But other than that, I guess hit that like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you beautiful weebs in the next video. Ciao.